in Kazakhstan 2 to 5 days, in its 7th and 1,000 people. This actually, after we come back to statistics on Kazakhstan, you will see that we are still not that good in identifying victim of trafficking. I mean, there is much more of them outside that need assistance and need support, but we still not identify them. Maybe before I actually move forward, I will actually ask you one question. Who are the victims of trafficking? Do you have a clear picture on that? Can somebody, based on your 2 weeks lecturing over the last 2 weeks, can give me any response? Anybody? Yes, please.
Well, I would guess that it's people who are in a very hard financial situation, so it's easier to to promise them something better and take them away for human trafficking.
Fair enough. Somebody else would like to add something to this? No, sorry, please.
There may be people from rural areas where nobody could notice that people disappeared. People without, I don't know, passports, maybe, and other things that can relate them with the country or the place that they're living.
Okay. Both of those answers, somebody else would like to add something. Both of those actual responses are correct, but this is not only that. This not necessarily could be rural, it's not necessarily somebody without financial resources. Could be actually each of you could be find themselves in this situation. When I said each of you could find that situation, because counter-trafficking is phenomenon, it's actually the person that is exploited by someone else. Do you know what is smuggling then? Just to ask you parallel question with that. No. Okay. What we actually, I will come after a bit on this definition, but I will just try to explain you in a simple terms. The person that is a victim of trafficking, the word said victim. This is someone that is, to do certain coercive measures, taken away from its freedom and exploited. The person could be exploited in 5 different areas. That could be sexual exploitation, could be labor exploitation, could be begging, could be removal of organs, or combination of any of those. This is all types of exploitation. In what type of exploitation a person could end up, it's not only necessarily depends on rural or urban area, not depends on the educational level, it actually depends of how the recruitment was done. Recruitment of the traffickers and how the traffickers are work could be even your boyfriend, your girlfriend, if you don't know them well, promising brilliant future abroad, said, okay, let's go and make some money somewhere. If you don't make well-informed decision, and each of you, including myself, could end up in a situation like that. What is a normal way? A, it's a recruitment procedure. B, is transportation, sometimes within the country, but most often abroad. This is transportation phase. You have recruitment, you have transportation, and then you have phase of transportation. Once when you come to the country of destination or place of destination, because if you have an internal, then actually you find yourself in situation because you trust the person, you give your passport away to be registered to do certain work that you agree with that person. Filming, modeling, name it. Everything is possible. Construction work. But then once you're out of your passport, you're actually stuck because you're most likely in a foreign country without your passport. And it's absolutely normal procedure abroad that you need to give passport away to get this license. How to recognize this? That's actually coming on prevention. How you well inform what is the procedure and who actually you trust, how you're actually doing the things. And in that sense, it's very important how you prepare yourself for the trip abroad. In that sense, this is important. And then, if they take passport away, I will give example, for example, Russia. You made a decision over the summer, turn some money on the construction fields in Russia. Good money, promising job. Let's go there. I went there. It's a custom union, no problem. However, once you come, they need to go passport registration. Absolutely normal. But it's also legal in Russia to have a private militia on construction site. You're Yakutsk, for example. You have private militia around. You're in the construction sites. Out of your passport, it's somebody that is actually guard the construction, and you cannot go out. And you're stuck. No payment, no possibility to go out, and you're there. And this is actually one of possible scenarios. The second one, when they talk about sexual exploitation, that's actually happens when you go abroad. They lock you actually in the room, take out everything from you, and after that is actually the torture is started. Some of them, I could tell you, went through different type of exploitation throughout their life. We had the worst situation that they actually saved the victim after 22 years of exploitation in Central Asia, and the person was from another part of the Soviet Union, European part. 22 years. First 7 years sexual exploitation, afterwards labor exploitation. By pure luck, we actually find her, identify her, and after the help her to return back and made her life. In that sense, it's important to understand, it's not rural or urban, it's not educational level, it's not the financial assets. It's question how you're well informed before you're going somewhere to find work, or you're going somewhere for a holiday to do some nice things abroad. It's very important actually preparation beforehand. If you see when we're talking about the sexual labor exploitation, it was actually 2010, but if you're talking about that sexual, as you could see, it's actually just a fraction. Mostly we talk about labor exploitation. Why the situation is like this? Simple, because the labor market is booming, and it's especially we're talking about the Kazakhstan. If you go now here in Astana and walking around, you have constructions all around. If you talk with those people there, most of them are actually migrants. If you look at official statistics and talking about totally of 70,000 of regular migrant workers in the country, I think only around, maybe even this campus, you can find more. I mean, they're not regular. If they're not regular, they're more in potential threat to be exploited. Talking about regular or not regular, this is something that we're talking about. What I ask you a question, do you know what is the smuggling? I explain you what is actually, first that we need to understand that is, as I mentioned, there's a 3 phases in trafficking: recruitment, transportation, exploitation. Clear 3 phases, right? If you're talking, and there is a victim, somebody in one of those moments actually was forced to do something against her or his will. The will element is something that you need to always understand. If somebody forces you to do something against your own will, you're already entering in a phase that you become a victim at this very moment. Smuggling is something else. In Russian it's a bit difficult because Russian do not recognize this word kontrabanda людей. It's not exist. Contrabandatori, yes, but today, what it's all about. It's not only Russian, it's also Spanish and Portuguese, a similar kind of issue, simply because in smuggling there is no victim. In smuggling you have just, I pay you to transport me from the one country to another. You get the money, I pay you completely willingly, there is no misunderstandings, there is no error in persona, error in facts. I just want somebody to give me a lift from one place in another country. There is no victim there. Meaning all of those people are actually doing something against international norms. Both of those smuggling and trafficking as a legal terms are actually covered by 2 protocols. One is called Protocol on Commodity Trafficking Human Beings, and another one is Protocol on Smuggling Human Beings. They both of them called Palermo Protocols, and both of them coming actually as a supplement to the one convention called Convention on Combating Organized Crime. What is it? Why this link is important? Because Convention on Combating Organized Crime is actually covering also smuggling of drugs, smuggling of weapons, and smuggling of people, including trafficking, as I mentioned. In that sense, you need to understand this brings a lot of money to those people that are actually working on it. However, when you're talking about the goods, meaning that the drugs or weapons, you don't have a witness. You don't have a human dimension. It's way more easier to prove if you have the human dimension. That's the reason why those protocols are very important, and how we identify them is not only because we have the victim trafficking, on one hand side, but also is important because actually combating the organized crime that is actually booming every day globally. As it doesn't matter how fast we are in developing or combating them, this is the way how they're fast to find this modus operandi, how to conduct these activities, because it's simply, this is the way how the things are doing. I will skip a couple of them in order to talk a little bit more to understand who are the different trafficking in Central Asia. It was mentioned this. Labor migrants, unemployed internal migrants, poor people, business and small trades, minors from unfortunate families, infants. All of them could be the victims. Meaning, yeah, there is poor, but there's also business. I mean, simply, everybody could be. Students as well. Don't think that you are excluded because you're a student. No. Because actually, whoever working as a recruiter could actually target the group that he thinks that he can recruit. Because normally, those people are knowing what they're doing and who are the target groups. The target groups are normally the people, most of them, from 16 to 26. You are coming in this age group. Number of years of exploitation, as I mentioned, between a couple of months till 20 years. If you look after statistics and you look them after, you will find that actually most of the victims of trafficking in the moment of recruitment are between 16 and 19 years. This is something that we call who are the traffickers, because traffickers actually also, as I already mentioned, could be everybody. Could be relatives, close friends, neighbors, travel agencies, organized crime, international organized crime group. Literally everybody could be the worker. Why? Simply because this brings certain asset to them, certain financial profit to those people that are actually working in this. I gave you the example of Russia, but we can also discuss about what's going on around us on the construction sites and why actually this exists. To understand actually if you're talking about Central Asia and how the things are linked, you will find actually where the people are trafficked.